great relationship, but somehow they have absolutely don't know nothing about it. And they frame me.
Imagine innocent souls finally tasting freedom. We've got the top 6 reactions of wrongly accused folks set free, and trust me, it's a wild ride of tears, laughter, and pure disbelief. Let's unravel these incredible stories together. You won't want to miss this. First up, we have Daniel Villas. His name is one of those that echoes the haunting resonance of wrongful imprisonment. Daniel embarked on a nightmarish journey at the tender age of 16. Accused falsely in El Paso, the ordeal unfolded in a coercive interrogation room. El Paso detectives played dirty, exploiting Daniel's vulnerability with threats of beatings and the death penalty until he penned a false confession. Facing 2 counts of capital murder, Daniel found himself in a courtroom overshadowed by a false confession. The first trial resulted in a hung jury, but a retrial brought a life sentence despite the glaring absence of concrete evidence. 18 relentless years ensued, with Daniel persistently battling for justice and proclaiming his innocence. Then, a seismic revelation in the third trial: not guilty. The weight of unjust years lifted as Daniel Villas emerged into the blinding light of justice. Next, we have Susan Melon's harrowing story. Her story began by taking her daughter to McDonald's, only to plunge into a 5-year nightmare. Arrested at 42 in Los Angeles, her life irrevocably changed as she became entangled in a murder accusation. Accused of killing an ex-boyfriend, Susan's life sentence rested on the dubious words of an informant. A staggering 17 years behind bars passed before the truth unfurled. The informant was a liar. The courts finally acknowledged the profound injustice, declaring her case dismissed. Released, Susan embraced a poignant moment, taking her daughter back to McDonald's for a long-awaited happy meal. Next, we have John Bunn. His story began at the age of 14 in Brooklyn, where a wrongful arrest propelled him into a 27-year-long nightmare. Detained by Detective Louis Scarcella, the journey took a twisted turn. For 16 years behind bars and another 11 on parole, John steadfastly declared his innocence, facing hurdles with unwavering resolve. The plot thickened with the revelation of Detective Scarcella's questionable actions and the absence of probable cause for John's arrest. Imagine the courtroom drama as John finally stood tall, emotionally proving his innocence. "I've been fighting for my life for 27 years, he uttered in a powerful moment that shook the foundations of justice. But John didn't stop there. Post-exoneration, he elevated the fight, taking legal action by filing a lawsuit against the city of New York and Detective Scarcella, seeking accountability for the colossal miscarriage of justice he endured. Fourth, we have Ricky Jackson and his heart-wrenching tale, which spans 39 agonizing years of wrongful imprisonment in Cleveland, Ohio, for a murder he never committed. Arrested at 18 based on a shaky 12-year-old's testimony, Eddie Vernon, the key witness, later confessed to being coerced by the police. After 2 hellish years on death row and decades of battling for his innocence, charges were dropped, and Ricky finally tasted freedom. His release wasn't just a victory, it was a redemption song. Ricky received $1 million in compensation from the state, and an additional $2.65 million for the income lost during those wrongful years, offering a chance to rewrite a life stolen from him. But this can't be said for Clemente Jaran. Yes, her life took a tragic turn when, in 2004, he was arrested for a crime he didn't commit. Accused of brutally stabbing 2 women, the prosecution relied on an unreliable informant and circumstantial evidence. Despite Jaran's protests of innocence, he was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death in 2006. Doubts about his guilt arose later, when DNA testing excluded him as the source of DNA at the crime scene. In 2018, the Florida Supreme Court ordered a new trial, and in 2018, all charges were dismissed, citing new evidence that impacted a crucial state witness's credibility. Jaran was exonerated, seeking recognition as a wrongly convicted person for compensation. Finally, we have Deborah Gan Mil. She faced a nightmarish ordeal, wrongfully convicted in 1989 for her son's shooting death. Sentenced to death, doubts arose as her alleged conspirators exonerated her. The case relied on contested testimony from Detective Armando Salade Jr., lacking corroboration. After 25 years, a 3-judge panel overturned her conviction in 2013, citing Salade's misconduct. Released in 2015, Milk filed a civil lawsuit alleging malicious prosecution, but it was dismissed in 2020. The tragedy of losing a child compounded by false accusations highlights the systemic flaws in her case. Now, after going through all these cases, one thing is for sure, these are of clear exoneration. It's a tale of resilience and the high cost of a broken justice system. What do you think? Do drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And we'll meet in the next episode. Until then, see ya.